Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new day of Road to TCG Worlds 2016, where this week I am going to be featuring a Zygarde EX Regirock deck. So, Zygarde EX 190 HP for a basic Pokemon EX, which is 10 over the regular standard that you had seen. 180 HP used to be the maximum amount, but apparently Zygarde wants to break all the rules and it has 190 HP. Very respectable, just a little under the lower megas, and it has 3 attacks, which is also pretty brand new for a Pokemon EX. Lance Pulse will be the attack that gets the most focus in the series, if you will. If there is any stadium card in play, this attack does 20 more damage. So unless your opponent plays a heavy count of Delinquent, once you play a stadium, no matter what, you will be dealing 40 damage with a single energy, which is nothing to write home about. But if you combine the rest of the cards that are available to you, you can definitely pull off some really nice combos and potentially deal like almost over 100 damage with a single energy. Then we have the attack Cellstorm, which deals a very respectable 60 damage, and you also get to heal 30 damage from Zygarde, so that might mess up your opponent's math in terms of KOs, and definitely a very cost-effective attack in terms of it deals just the right amount of damage, but it also heals you, so it's a nice trade-off. And finally, Lance Wrath, pretty simple, 3 energy for 100 damage, nothing too impressive, and I doubt we will be using that attack too often. Then we have Regirock EX, which, with its Regipower ability, it gets to raise the damage from any fighting type Pokemon by 10. So you can raise the damage for Zygarde EX attack, you can raise the damage for Lucario-EX, which I'm sure all of you are familiar with by now. You can raise the damage for Landorus's Shout of Power especially, and more importantly for Hawlucha. You can get some really insane amounts of damage with Hawlucha and Regirock and Fighting Stadium and Muscle Band and everything, and Strong Energy, so Hawlucha can become a real powerhouse with the addition of Regirock. And finally we have our 2 obligatory Shaymin-EX, since this is standard and we need them. So in terms of supporters, we have 3 Sycamore, 1 under the regular normal 4, but that is simply because we do have Korrina available to us, since this is a fighting type deck. So 4 Korrina is really nice. Allows you to search for any fighting type Pokemon and any item card, and as you will see in a second as I go over them, we have a lot of variety and a lot of versatility with our item cards, so Korrina will be very crucial to us. Then we have a single N for late game shenanigans, 2 Lysanders so that we can target whatever is threatening us, or we can have easy KOs on opposing Shaymins. And we have a single Hex Maniac. You never know when you might need to stop a Greninja, when you might need to stop a Vespiquen Vileplume to get some items going. Although Vespiquen Vileplume, because of the weakness from Zygarde, looks like a pretty poor matchup. And we have 1 AC in order to help us retreat. Everything has a very high retreat cost, except for, well, all of our main attackers have a high retreat cost. Lucario has 2, and both Regirock and Zygarde have 3. So between AC, the 2 switch we are running, and the escape rope, we should have plenty of switching available to us, but it never hurts obviously to have the AC. So we have our mandatory 4 Verse Seekers to reuse all of the supporters I just mentioned. We only have 3 Ultra Ball this time around. That's because Korrina can't find us every single Pokemon in our deck except for Shaymin, so these Ultra Balls are now mainly for Shaymin. And then we have a lot of versatility. So we have 4 Fighting Stadium. As you remember from Zygarde's first attack, you need this to deal extra damage, and if by chance your opponent's active Pokemon is a Pokemon EX, you will be dealing a respectable 60 damage for a single energy, or if it's a strong energy, you can deal up to 80. So add to that the Muscle Band and you're solidly 2-hit KOing Pokemon EX with a single Fighting Stadium and a single energy. Then we have 2 Focus Sash. These are really nice. It will help battle against Night March and also other potential one-hit KO decks such as Vespiquen something. 3 Muscle Band, you really want to max out on the energy efficiency you have with this deck and the low cost attacks. And then we have 1 Megaphone. We can get rid of those annoying Fighting Fury belts, and we can search it with Karina. We have our fan favorite red card, which could come in handy in many situations, or it could be completely useless. With N in the format, I'm sure decks will be a bit better prepared for hand shuffling, but I just really like this card, and I think it's a really nice versatile card to have, that you can actually disrupt your opponent with your own supporter, in terms of using Karina and finding the red card. Then we have Professor's Letter, so your Karina can also turn into energy. We have 1 Escape Rope, as I was saying how crucial it is to retreat, and 1 Enhanced Hammer to potentially delay our opponent's setup. And finally, one of the most interesting cards in the deck, I would say, is the Power Memory. Now, some of you might have seen the Genesect TX deck I featured in my expanded special, or you might remember simply what the G Booster does. This card is very similar. With this card can be attached to any Zygarde EX, and it counts as an extra attack, so this would essentially be a 4th attack, if you will, and you deal 200 damage by discarding 3 energy attached to the Pokemon you're attached to Zygarde, effectively. So 200 damage is nothing to scoff at. And then with Regirock, you can very, very nicely pull off 1-hit KOs on Mega Pokemon. So this is definitely a card to consider for the late game to maybe seal off a game. So that covers pretty much the deck. Let me save here because I'm not sure if my changes have all been saved. And let's jump into the ladder and find our 2 opponents of the day. So should be an interesting week. It's been a while since I used a fighting type deck, so I really look forward to this week. Apparently we are right off the bat against a Night March deck, so definitely good for us in terms of really testing the deck's true power, if you will. And yeah, let's see how this goes. Now hopefully, just last week's second span. Oh, what? I chose the wrong deck. Sorry about that. Wow, that is such a shame. That is such a shame because I was up against a Night Merge deck. I am really sorry about that. I forgot to click in Zygarde. That was my bad, guys. Definitely my bad. So we might actually be up against a Vespiquen Vileplume deck, but just seeing grass is really scary because Zygarde is weak to grass, so we might have to rely on Lucario. And since Vespiquen Vileplume and maybe Sceptile have been getting a bit popular, if you will, our starting hand is really terrible. But because of that, considering a second Lucario-EX is definitely a possibility. There's a Oddish, so wow. We're definitely going to see a crazy turn from my opponent. And not to mention, wow, 2 compressors. Not to mention most likely a turn 1 Vileplume, and we might just lose outright right here and right now, which would suck. I mean, there's no point in really powering up our Regirock. It's gonna be so slow. But even Zygarde EX cannot effectively KO Vespiquens. So that's not good at all. Definitely not good at all. I mean, I could buy myself a turn or 2 with a Lysander, but our hand definitely doesn't help either. Definitely doesn't help at all. That's the 3rd Battle Compressor. Stop. Just stop, please. Wow. My opponent got a really sick starting hand. Really sick starting hand. He's gonna face a tougher decision now. He actually gets rid of Vespiquen and Unknowns, and he goes straight up for the Sycamore. He had 2 Sycamores already, so Sycamore and already 3 Battle Compressor. Now he could possibly whiff on the turn 1 Vileplume. Wow, he actually now has 3 Glooms in the discard pile. He goes for Known, and does that mean, well, we don't know his list, but he could potentially only run a 4-3-3 of Vileplume. So maybe finding the Gloom will be a bit difficult for my opponent at this stage in the game. There's an Ultra Ball, probably gonna go for a Shaymin though, the way my opponent is playing. And he actually gets rid of a TCG. So that's good news, obviously. That's definitely good news. He goes for another Unknown, so not going for Shaymin. I'm guessing he already has Shaymin, yep. Yeah, that would make the most sense. He actually got rid of another... There's a Vespiquen and a Combi. And there's his 4th Battle Compressor. This is so sick. And I'm here just sitting without any supporters or anything. This is a really sick turn for my opponent. Now, I do not have the resources to KO Shaymin. I can only do 90 damage, so I would need to top deck a Muscle Band or a Strong Energy and hope he whiffs on the turn 1 Vileplume. Finds another Ultra Ball. What's he gonna go for then? He already discarded one DCE, so if by any chance I was able to top deck a Karina and get rid of that DCE, maybe I could do something interesting, but I'm not entirely sure. There's another Vespiquen in the discard. Wow, so my opponent is really going all in here. And I'm really surprised no Stadium yet. Wow, there's actually a Stadium in the discard, which makes no sense. At what point would you discard a Stadium? There's the Gloom, there's the Vespiquen. We're gonna see Vileplume, definitely. Definitely gonna see Vileplume, but I hope he doesn't find the Float Stone. That would be ideal, actually. That would be best case scenario. No Vileplume, and I top deck something useful, or... Well, there's an Ultra Ball. Wow, another Combi and another Vespiquen. Wow. So my opponent... Wow. Okay. He only has one Vespiquen. He literally only has... Yeah. My opponent's plays made no sense. They literally made no sense. I was gonna say, I don't need to attack Vileplume. I mean, he's gonna struggle to retreat, not me. So that was such a weird game from my opponent. Like, seriously, that was really, really weird. I genuinely don't know what my opponent was thinking. He went too hard, too fast, and he burned every resource to get the turn 1 Vileplume, but his Oddish was in the active slot. I mean, the right play, if you're gonna go so aggro, would have been to attach the energy to the active Oddish and retreat, or hold on to the Vileplume in order to make sure that... Oh, I'm sorry. It was to hold on to the Vileplume in order to make sure that you could attach a Floatstone eventually. But my opponent opted not to. So here we are with a first victory against a Vespiquen Vileplume deck. Okay, now, Joltik. Joltik is definitely not a Pokemon I would like to deal with. So I'm gonna go for Karina. I think I mean, Landorus and Lucario could be crucial. Zygarde also does really nicely. I'm gonna check to see if the professor's letter is there. It is. Is there a second Focus Sash? Yep, the second Focus Sash is there. So my opponent just smiled at me, so maybe he recognizes me. I'm actually gonna start grabbing energy. He needs 10 Night Marchers. Oh, hey Pokedad. Hello. From YouTube? If so, this is really nice. This is such a big coincidence. So, can I use Professor's letter? Oh, he is the YouTube guy. So, hello, man. Hello, Pokedad. You're gonna appear on Monday's video. Yep, I'm recording this pretty late, actually. So, this Landorus could be quite crucial in order to get some KOs. I'm gonna attach to Zygarde, and because I generally don't think my opponent will easily 2-hit KO my or 1-hit KO my Zygarde, he would need a really perfect first turn. I'm just gonna pass for now. I also don't want to give him any free prize cards in terms on the bench in terms of Shaymin. So I'm glad we're gonna get to feature Pokédad. He has a really nice YouTube. What? Okay, so we're not gonna really feature him, but yeah, good game, Pokédad. I guess if you're watching, you guys should definitely check out his channel. You can search for Pokédad and you will find him. He also uploads a lot of TCG content and everything. So yeah, that's 2 wins under our belt. This second one was really weird. The first one was also really weird because, I don't know, Vespiquen Valplum is a complicated deck to play. It's definitely not easy. But then again, also my opponent made every possible bad play in order for him to lose, I guess, up to a certain point. I don't know. So now we are up against a water psychic colorless deck, so maybe Seismitoad Crobat, which, since we do not have water weakness, I really don't mind. The Quaking Punch damage is not too much. The resistance on Crobat would be pretty annoying, that's for sure. And yeah, let's see how we do. My opponent is using the 2015 coin and sleeves. My starting hand leaves a lot to be desired, a lot. I do have the switch, but since I don't have any other Pokemon, I mean, top decking a Zygarde would be best case scenario, I guess. So I could switch Strong, Muscle Band, and Stadium. But, yeah, this is not good. This is not a good way to start off a game. So my opponent's Skyless, so no chance of an N. No chance of an N for us. I generally think my opponent is going to play in Crobat with Seismitoad. I don't see any other Psychic type partner that could be good. Oh, Hoopa, okay. But then, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you're only running Seismitoad and Shaymin, do you really need Hoopa? Maybe he has Carbodor. Well, he has Manaphy as well. I mean, that's a pretty good Hoopa. It's definitely a pretty good Hoopa. But I really don't want to attach energy to Regirock, because Regirock is not a cost-effective attacker, quite clearly. It does go for the max elixir. It's gonna draw 5 cards. Opts to retreat and passes. So wow, I top deck an Ultra Ball. Oh man, now I wish I had Hoopa. I mean, I guess I definitely sacrifice the Muscle Band here. I cannot sacrifice Sycamore. Discarding the Stadium is unfortunate because he most likely plays a heavy count of Rough Seas. So having a Stadium in the discard and playing the first one myself is never a good idea, because now he has a really big advantage in the Stadium Wars, and healing 30 damage every single turn might actually end up affecting us. I can bench Regirock, the other Regirock. I will, but I'm not feeling too comfortable by doing it. Lance Balls will do 20 plus the Stadium 40 plus the Strong Energy 60 plus 2 Regirocks. That's 80 damage, right? Oh, 100. Wait. 2, 4, 6. Oh, 8 because he is a Pokémon EX, and then 100 by 2 Regirock. So turn 1, 100 damage. That's not bad. Definitely not bad. Your opponent does Ultra Ball but doesn't get rid of anything, or doesn't find anything, rather. Energy Switch. I'm fine with that. Well, he actually put the energy onto Manaphy, which is weird. Okay, so he decided to waste both energy switches. I'm pretty sure he's gonna find the stadium right now. I mean, it would be really weird for him not to. And looks like he's actually going to opt to attack with Grenade Hammer instead of Quaking Punch here. So I'm guessing that Sycamore is to find the stadium. If he deals 130 damage, then he will 2-hit KO me. 100% sure. No. Is there any way I can heal myself? Not really. He's gonna pick Manaphy and maybe Seismitoad as the targets. Nope, he actually picks Shaymin. Okay. Manaphy makes sense. Shaymin also, I guess. I need a follow-up Zygarde, so that's what I'm gonna find here. And I mean, I could go for the red card. No point in using Enhanced Hammer. I could play the Startling Megaphone. I would get rid of two Fighting Fury Belts, which is definitely very nice for me, I would say. A good trade-off. I would have maybe liked to... Oh, that freaking sound. I'm so sorry, guys. It's someone selling food, because that's the way they apparently like to advertise selling food, which makes no sense at all, but I guess it's customary, if you will. So I just dealt 100 damage. If that's what I didn't want. That is definitely what I did not want. Now I need to find another switch. And oh, he's gonna Quaking Punch. He's gonna lock my Regirock in the active slot and lock me there. So now pretty much forced to find, and I'm gonna lose my power memory. But I have to find my AC, and I have to do so quickly before he himself finds before he finds another Rough Seas. And I didn't find it, which sucks. And there's the Rough Seas. Now all the damage I've been dealing, well, a 3 energy Zygarde is actually not bad. It's actually not bad. She didn't attach an energy, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna Lysander up the Hoopa to try and get myself out of this situation with 2 strong energy. Lance Wrath deals 140 damage plus the 2 Regirocks, that's 160. So I need to find my last stadium, or rather I have to hope he cannot retreat the Hoopa, and I need to find a Muscle Band. Man. Or I need to top deck the AC, which I'm not even sure it's in the deck, actually. It's not in my discard pile. He didn't have energy, but he did have AC. That sucks. I mean, I guess I'll bench the next Regirock. Doesn't really matter. If I had the 4th one, I'd be in a better position. Gonna end. Both gonna draw 6 cards, and nothing actually come out worse out of that. This sucks, guys. This sucks. It generally sucks. Regi Power. I reduce the damage by 20, but that doesn't really help me. Oh, and if he takes a KO with Articuno, I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble. Okay, I'm gonna start powering up more Zygardes. He has to KO me eventually, you know? He really has to. I unfortunately will not be able to KO him. But the fact that I have 190 HP works because I can attack with this Zygarde and either force him to break the lock or he won't KO me. But if he gets a KO with Articuno, okay, he won't. So that's fine, because even if he gets a KO with Articuno onto this Zygarde, well, that's still going to suck. I mean, on average, he will. But actually, what I can do is play Hex Maniac. That means no abilities for him. I won't get the benefit of Regirock, but Lance Wrath is still gonna deal a ton of damage, and he cannot get the benefit of Manaphy, so he cannot retreat, and that's huge. That is absolutely huge, because if he wants to get a freaking Regirocks, man. Freaking Regirocks. I'm gonna lose. I am 100% going to lose. There's the AC, but there's still gonna be 18 cards left in my deck. Ridiculous. And that's all he needs to do, really. And he gets to heal off all the damage. That's just ridiculous. Can't believe he had that. I genuinely cannot believe he had that. That's so frustrating, guys. That is absolutely frustrating. And now, without the extra damage from Regirocks, I won't even be able to one-hit KO Seismitoad. If I ever had the chance, I won't now. Unless I find the AC. Unless I find the AC. Which I probably won't. I won't in time, at least. And I keep top decking all these item cards. Oh man. And it came down as well to the fact that I had to discard so many stadiums early on. That just meant I was always going to lose the stadium war. Every time I was going to lose the stadium war. No way around it. And now, because I will lose the active Regirock, I will not be able to KO Seismitoad unless I top deck the AC this turn. It's the only way I can maybe put myself back into the game. Maybe. But it's not looking good. It's definitely not looking good. Attacking with Articuno here would be my opponent's terrible mistake. There's absolutely no way he doesn't have another Verse Seeker. Yeah, he's only used one and two Lysanders, so and he's making his deck thinner. All he needs is a Lysander to KO my damaged Zygarde. That's all he needs. And I do not top deck. I do not top deck the energy. So we're gonna lose here. We are definitely going to lose. I don't have N anymore. But even then he still has access to 3 Verse Seekers. He has a huge hand. Anyways, this is a lost cause, guys. I mean, yeah, sure, I'll attach energy to Regirock. Woohoo, whoop-de-doo. I will Lance Wrath, which makes no difference. 150 damage. Even with the stadium, I would have dealt 170. And all he needs is Verse Seeker, which he obviously has. I mean, there's no universe ever where my opponent doesn't have a Verse Seeker right there. So not off to a great start, guys. Not off to a great start. I mean, he could be nice and choose Grenade Hammer and Seismitoad EX to give me 2 prizes. That's all that really could happen. And yeah, that's one of the liabilities of Regirock. Yeah, you deal a ton of damage, but also this can happen. Definitely can happen. And I never saw my AC, so I couldn't plan for this. I saw that it could happen, but there was no way around it at that point. So that will be all from me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the Zygarde deck, please leave a like. I will be using it throughout the week, so even though the first 2 games weren't very representative of what this deck can do, and this 3rd game definitely showed one of the weaknesses of the deck, we're gonna keep trying it out to see how it does. So that's it from me, guys. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you guys in the Spanish video tomorrow or in the English video on Wednesday. Thank you, and bye-bye.